You ever wonder how a whole universe gets started? I'm not talking about the Big Bang. I'm talking about one born from a splash of ink and a big idea. Today, we are diving deep into the origin story of a true modern mythology, the DC Universe. We're going to look at how it all came together, from the heroes we all know and love to the villains we, well, love to hate.
Picture this. The year is 1938. The world? It's teetering on the edge of some massive, world-altering changes. And right then, tucked away in the pages of a simple comic book, a brand new kind of hero is about to explode onto the scene. And trust me, pop culture would never, ever be the same again.
All right, so if you're going to build a universe from scratch, where do you even begin? Well, you start with your gods and monsters, right? And in this story, they were called superheroes. These weren't just characters, they didn't just leap off the page. No, they literally created an entire genre.
And get this, it all happened so fast. I mean, we're talking about just 4 years to put the main pillars of this entire mythology in place. It was like, bam, 1938, we get the hope of Superman. Just 1 year later, the shadows give us the vengeance of Batman. 1940, the cosmic light of Green Lantern shines down, and by 41, we have the incredible mythic strength of Wonder Woman. Just like that, the Golden Age was here.
Really, it all starts with him. With Superman. See, he wasn't just some strong guy in tights. No, he was the archetype, the original blueprint. This immigrant from a dying world who showed up and stood for truth and justice. He basically set the template for every single superhero that would come after.
And what's so cool is that right from the beginning, DC had this amazing duality. On one hand, you've got Batman, a regular guy, a mortal man, basically born from dark, gothic detective stories. And on the other, you've got Wonder Woman, a literal demigoddess created to be this powerful feminist icon. That contrast, it just shows you that the DC universe was never ever going to be about just one kind of hero.
Okay, so you've got your titans, your icons are in place. What's the next logical step? Well, now you have to build a world for them to actually share. You have to take all these separate stories and figure out how to weave them into one huge, interconnected universe. And this is how they did it. The Justice League, come on, this wasn't just another team-up. This was a massive, foundational moment. When you bring together your heaviest hitters, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all the way to Martian Manhunter, you're making a statement. You're telling the world, yep, this is a shared universe, and sometimes the threats are so big, you're going to need a whole League of Legends to stop them. But hey, why stop with just one universe, right? DC's next big move was, frankly, a stroke of genius. The Multiverse. The idea is simple but huge. A massive collection of parallel worlds, where you can have different versions of heroes, different histories. This one concept just blew the doors wide open for creative freedom. I mean, infinite possibilities, literally.
So, a multiverse. That sounds kind of complicated, right? How do you keep it all straight? Simple. You give the worlds names. For example, you had Earth 1. That was the home of the modern heroes. And then you had Earth 2, and that's where the original heroes from the Golden Age were still having their adventures. It was just this brilliant, elegant way to keep the old stories alive while still pushing forward with the new ones.
So let's recap. We've got the heroes, we've got the universe, even a multiverse for them to play in. But what is it that really defines the identity of DC? What gives it that unique flavor that makes you go, that feels like a DC story?
So what is that edge? What gives DC its unique kick? Well, for a lot of people, the answer isn't just about the heroes. It's about the world they live in. A world that, let's be honest, often has a much darker, grittier tone.
Yeah. Over the years, DC has really become the place you go for that gritty and mature superhero story. But here's the thing. It's not just about being dark for the sake of it. Not at all. It's about being willing to dive into some real complexity.
I mean, DC stories, they are not afraid to get messy. They go into some darker psychological places. They take these characters who are basically gods and force them to face these incredibly human, incredibly difficult moral dilemmas.
And if you want the perfect poster child for this dark, complex identity, you don't have to look very far. The Joker. I mean, come on. He's so much more than just a villain. He's the absolute embodiment of chaos, the perfect opposite to Batman's obsession with order.
And his impact, it's just undeniable. I mean, time after time, in list after list, the Joker is right up there as one of the greatest villains ever created. The fact that he's so popular for so long, it really says something about how good DC is at creating bad guys who are just as interesting, sometimes even more interesting than the heroes themselves.
But eventually, these stories just got too big. They couldn't be contained in the pages of a comic book anymore. They had to spill out, to leak into the rest of the world, creating this incredible modern mythology that is absolutely thriving everywhere you look today.
Think about it. What started out as just a line of comic books has absolutely exploded into a full-blown media empire. We're talking blockbuster movies, hit TV shows, amazing video games. All of it has taken the DC universe to a massive global audience. It's a cornerstone of pop culture now.
And for a lot of people watching today, the way they know these characters is through the movies, right? The DC Extended Universe, the DCEU, has really been the big cinematic home for these guys, taking those epic comic book stories and putting them up on the big screen for a whole new generation of fans.
So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. In a universe that literally gave us the modern superhero, a world that was built on the pure hope of Superman and the incredible compassion of Wonder Woman, what does it really mean, when you think about it, that maybe its most famous, most iconic character is a villain? Now that might just be the ultimate riddle at the heart of the DC universe.